Hello Marvel Heroes fans, my name is Wilfred Wong and welcome to this channel where you see videos and guides on this free-to-play game called Marvel Heroes. If you like this sort of guides, description below there's a link back to my website, whole list of videos for you to watch. Today let's talk about X-23 and I know she has a lot of fans would like to play her as well. She's a little bit dated, I would say. Not as dated as some heroes out there, but it's kind of funny though. She's about one year plus kind of like age, but you can see that the whole game has evolved so much in the last 1 year that she kind of like, I've kind of felt that she's lagging behind a little bit on certain things. But she does require a little bit of skill to play. So for those people who are like to have a little bit of challenge, you find the current hero is a little bit too manufactured in the sense that you have to just mash cooldown and be it. She is definitely some of one of the heroes whereby you have to pay attention to what's around her as well as how to manage her resource as well. So in a way that is good news. She is a lot of people ask if X-23 is a Wolverine clone. I wouldn't say so because I think both of them also use a resource whereby you can't regenerate over time like Wolverine's Fury versus X-23's Wrath, and both has to regenerate through the basic power as well. Wolverine has a more robust way to regenerate a resource over time, while for her it's a little bit different. And also Wolverine has a way to dump a whole chunk of Fury into one big kind of like a damage output, while for her she has to inject certain like big smaller punches, not as big as Wolverine's one, into the whole rotation. So the whole thing played differently. Now of course for X-23 she has two stances. Both has its own pros and cons in terms of over one another, and she has the bleed build, which is damage over time build. Another one is a movement build. This video is on the bleed build because I feel that it is probably a little bit more easier to introduce X-23 to you. The movement build is a little bit more advanced in a way that things become a little bit chaotic, a little bit hard to explain. So, but I will post a video on the movement build. All right. So now the format of this video is very much like going through a cosmic danger room, talk about the build and gear discussion, and anything under the sun for X-23. So this is for the fans of X-23. Alright, this is a cosmic danger room, and I picked one of the scenario not too challenging because quite frankly speaking, X-23 is not really that great in a danger room, at least not the bleed build. So this one I have to watch out for wrecking ball as well as traps. And but the good thing about it is because X-23 is not really good at area damage anyhow, so buff all her non-area damage, which is great, and defeat counter 10. So I'll see whether I'll use up all 10 or not. I have this strange feeling that I may. Right. So now playing her, you probably need to sort of like a little bit cautious in the. You have to sort of like move around a little bit also, alright? So I'm going to talk about power in just a bit, and let me see, I need to get out. But there's always a very strange lag when it comes to X-23's movement. The power that she move out of the stuff. So, alright, man. Abuse it. So the one that I'm spamming right now is the fourth button on the hotbar, which is called a slash and hack, and it's more like the like the one that you spam quite a fair bit on that. Oh, there's something here. All right, and so that is the one that I spam quite a fair bit. All right. While the rest of it is to sort of like apply vulnerability as well as the vulnerability to all power, vulnerability to the bleed as well. So there's another one here. Oh, there's a white ball. I have to grab this too, man. Life is too hard. That's X-23. All right. So there's really a very strange lag when I try to get out. Right. Come on. Yeah, and button that I press and they never quite register. Same thing, like all these bugs that we can keep seeing somehow, and they are still here. Right, done. So all has been defeated, and so far not too bad. But I mean, seriously, she's super fragile. I've already do a lot on her to make her less fragile, including having a health costume, including having a vulnerability core, including having a relics that help her with the there's some bubbles here. Hey, I can just collect bubble to the next level, right? Why work so hard? Anyhow, and there's still something here. Alright, so the one that with the D kind of thing is called Dancing Blade, and that is her signature. Very graceful, provided that you can execute it 6 times within 15 seconds, and there's a buff that lasts 3 seconds as well. So it's a little bit thinking of that, but it's really about mashing all the slash and hack, you know, while keep applying the bead. Alright, dancing blade is out. I don't know, I mean, some of the scenario is kind of like alright, some of the scenario is actually quite hard. I tried some of the scenario just now. It was really hard. Because I was usually, you know, before I make all this video, I do some warm up as well. You know, before showing you how she plays, I will try to do the best I could. You know, at least do justice to the hero herself. And the next level, okay, go, don't get hit. Yeah, so I was having a lot of challenges just now with Malekith as well. Eliminate the chieftain, heavily guarded. Okay, fine, we'll get the X-23. I've got invulnerable core, we trust. Alright, okay, heavily guarded wherever it is. Wow, really heavily guarded. Poison, okay, fine. Wow, I have to like, so wow, this is really dicey, man. Alright. Oh, because of the lot of environment as well. Whoa. It's like really no joke, man. This is like for X-23. This is tough. It's so hard not to swear sometimes. Not that I do like to swear, by the way. Sometimes it's just very frustrating playing X-23. But if you want something exciting, something not so like boring, she's definitely your girl. Because there's a lot of things to think, and you know, in this game, when the new heroes are so much better, you can't forget that there are just some of the rather unfortunate heroes that is being left behind from all this like update and power creep. And unfortunately, X-23 is one of them, but she's still playable, I would say. Just that in this sort of environment, my goodness, she's very fragile, very scary. Okay, anyway, got it all sorted. So yeah, okay, next stage, and the I was about to sort of like talk about a little bit about her power, but anyway, just a quick intro is that she has something called Crimson Sweep, which apply vulnerability. Something called this Embowel that is being buffed by the well, I mean, you know, the cooldown is 4 seconds. If you have some bleed to go on, what apply bleed is the main spender as well as the sweep as well. And she has something called Rip to Stress that will buff the damage over time. And she has something called the Slash and Hack, which is you know, which is very hit rather hard. I wish this one is like hit a lot harder but cause a lot more rough. Then I don't need to frantically spam like the button like crazy. Anyhow, let's face the dinosaur. Wow. Okay, so this is the boss, is it? Okay, fine. Then ultimate guarantee me to do a lot of creep, a lot of like brutal. I think everything is brutal, I suppose. Wow, let me just get rid of this guy here as well. Man, come on, man. Come on, stop healing. You know, do you think this set will one day be playable? I think that would be pretty cool. Actually, I like animals somehow. Maybe my wife may like to play a lizard. She like Rocket Raccoon, so I don't know. So I mean, I think so far, you know, Danger Room, I feel that it's still very much unbalanced. Seriously, I just now I played like, ooh. Oh, she went down. How? So just now I was playing, you know, one of Danger Room. It was really hard. It was only challenge level 32. So yeah. So I don't know, man. So but this one seems alright. Why do I even bother to do this anyway? Let me just go to the next stage. So okay, so that is it. One defeat for X-23 in a relatively easy cosmic danger room, where for other heroes newer than X-23 probably just a walk in the park. So I'm going back to the training room and talk a little bit about her build and gear and so on. Alright, welcome back to the training room, and this part of the video is talk about the just discuss about her build in terms of the bleed kind of build. And for bleed build, you would turn on the Ferocious stance. That is the one that will buff certain power within the adamantium claws kind of like a tree here. This is more for the bleed kind of thing. This is more for movement, and so it's something that you probably have to just like do it, and you probably need to max it as well, because for the crit, for the defense, defense very kind of like low for X-23. So do that. And of course you have accuracy as well, so that is pretty decent. Alright, so now, and as far as other buff is concerned, there's just one point here is sufficient, although you may get more dodge as well as the enemy not attacking you. So for raid, this is something that you could consider upping for quite a fair bit, but I would say, because there are so many other things to do with the X-23, I don't really have enough points to sort of like max it, and the remaining of points just dump it here as well, because she is really fragile, extremely. I mean, I play quite a fair bit of like a cosmic danger room, and she's one of those that I feel struggle quite a fair bit, at least for me. Alright, so anything that helps her health is good. As far as this side of the story concerned, there's nothing really relevant, because it's not really buffing anything here. What it really buff is really about the damage over time powers. Alright, so any power that have a damage over time to it is getting buffed. Alright, as far as the power over here. Now onto this side though, I mean, there are a couple of things quite interesting. Seeing red is something you've seen it just now. I use quite a fair bit. During that 8-second time, out of the 30-second kind of like a duration, there is quite a substantial buff to the damage rating as well as crit damage rating. So I would suggest maxing this one, because you usually do this together with some of the harder punching power as well. And these guys also recover all the maximum wrath as well, so you can spam quite a lot of your hardest hitting power. So where are all your hardest hitting power? Well, I mean, for X-23, the hardest one, of course, is going to be the slash and hack. But because it's being, you could have 3 stacks of the gravest wounds, and then plus 30% on this one. It's pretty decent. I wish, like I said before, I wish this had a much higher wrath cost, but a much higher damage output. So I don't need to keep spamming the power. It's really hard. So you need to wave the slash and hack onto your main spender as well as the Crimson Sweep, because these 2 power apply the wounds. So if you keep doing this for 3 seconds, your damage over time will drop off, and this one will become less efficient. So something to think about is you have to wave this one into whatever rotation you have over there. And and Rip to Strats is the one that buffed the gravest wound. It has a little bit 1.5 seconds of animation to it, so it's a little bit it's alright. I mean, but then it buffed your wounds damage over time, so that's great. And also the Crimson Sweep is the one that you saw before, the one that will also apply the gravest wound. Now on its own, it's not really great, man. I mean, this is one of the really lousy power to have, because of the vulnerability debuff as well. The older hero, I think they put a penalty on the power, not to make them too powerful. Newer hero though, I mean, they sort of like do something different. But this is the only area power she has together with the Dancing Blade. So, I mean, Dancing Blade is not really area, but then it's sort of like, can move around with it. But this is really the only kind of like area power to it. So what you could usually do is that when you face a group of mob, at least do it 3 times, then you apply 3 stacks of the damage over time, because remember, X-23, the strength is damage over time, so it does take a while for anything to happen. Alright, so that is really about it. I'm not going to talk about Omega system, because we are going to heading for a change on Omega system. There's another video on the what you may be expecting. For hero synergy wise, it's the same thing. Just make sure your crit, your bleed, your brutal, +1 fighting, +1 strength are all being picked up, and I think you are pretty alright. And of course you can have the melee as well. Everything is melee for X-23. So yeah, so that's all. Let's head to the maybe talk a little bit about the gear itself. Alright. when you look at the X-23 gear wise, it's a very hard decision, because if you go all out for DPS like the newer or new heroes or the newly revealed heroes, she would be very, very fragile. It probably wouldn't work for you. And although her stat seems quite high in terms of damage reduction, if I hit something, I think it'd be like 45%, right? But I mean, that is just how it looks like. But in reality, because a lot of things is dodge and deflect, as I always say, if you cannot dodge, cannot deflect, what is going to happen is that you lose a lot of like opportunity to mitigate damage. So the only frontier you have is the defense. So you could sort of like look into a relics that help with the defense. Otherwise, you drop for quite a fair bit, so your defense becomes 2.6 reduction instead of say the 8% reduction. So I mean, it's pretty substantial, because whatever cannot be dodged, cannot be deflected, you have to eat it. So that is, from my experience playing X-23, it is always the spike that kills her. It's like suddenly she's dead, like, ooh, I didn't see, I totally didn't see coming, just bam, that's it. And that's because she can't dodge and deflect certain special ability from the boss or from the enemies, and that is what killing her. Which unfortunate. I mean, there's something that you have to deal with when you play X-23. In terms of the artifacts wise, there are quite a number of options there. I picked something that is pretty generic. So metasensory, danger AI chip is pretty nice as well. It is quite a nice kind of like a thing. And the Jump the Curse is also very nice. I mean, I'm not really like, I'm actually giving her quite a lot of good stuff as well. This is also pretty decent as well for the flat damage. But you may want to consider things like the Kung Fu Master, Advanced Kung Fu Master artifact, because that would give her a little bit more defense when she's using melee power. And also maybe consider using a white suit jacket, white suit jacket, one of those things as well, give you defense and health and flat damage. And medallion wise, I mean, you could do something like this, or you could do something like Mish is a physical hero. There's a lot of options. Curse is probably the best for her. If not, then you should consider Kingpin as well, because there's health component to it. Relics wise, man, I mean, I have 2 relics here. If survivability is not an issue, meaning that it's not that hard content, you may have a lot of this sort of like artifact lying around, relics lying around anyway. So may as well use it to buff her main spender to be a little bit more powerful. If you really like your hero, though, I mean, you could give her the melee as well, the relics on buff melee. Man, I mean, at some point I really liked the X-23. I think when she was launched, she was quite decent, so I give her the God of Mischief. And I think it's one of those things I learned in this game, is that sometimes don't get overexcited by the heroes, whereby you feel, whoa, he or she is so powerful, may as well give her the best. Because 1 year later, things will just go downhill for that heroes, and there will be another heroes that is much stronger. That's how the game goes, how they push sales. So I mean, I wouldn't recommend really at this stage to put anything on like this one. Probably the Lady of the Sword is something that you may consider, because that is a decent. Getting a Thief rune nowadays is not that hard unless you are new players. All right. I mean, for X-23, the legendary is going to be Gungnir for grade 70. But if you want to put a grade 80, then of course it's the axe. But at this stage of time, I mean, I don't know whether I would want to invest in one. But in case if you do, then the axe would be very, very good. I was more thinking about shield, though, but I can't recommend a shield for you, because when you pay 1,000 OD mark, you want to see result. Not to survive better, and so that's not really a result for me. Anyway, ring wise, something that melee, something health and stuff like that is good, or you can do an ICP ring as well on physical or on melee, whichever is fine. I have not a lot of complaint for her, like unique. I mean, my powers are pretty alright. I mean, I wish some of this is 50, but it's alright. I mean, it's not really a lot of things to shout about. This is pet. Pet wise is this one. Insignia wise is, I mean, this is quite a decent one as well, I would say, because it has the melee power buff, the crit damage rating buff, but yet you see the result is not that great. In terms of costume, I have 2 of them. One is this one, of course. I use this one though for the Cosmic Patrol, but the Danger Room, I don't think I can really do without the Invulnerability Shield, just the Facts of Life. Alright, so that is really all that I'd like to talk about when it comes to X-23. Just remember, I think in closing, right? In closing, just remember, she is a little bit dated, so she need to handle with care. When playing her, probably require a little bit of skills and patience as well. If you're playing the bleed build, make sure that your 3 stacks of damage over time is on. The bleed is on all the time. It's via the Crimson Sweep as well as the Cleaving Claw. So, you know, whatever excitement you have with Dancing Blade or Slash and Hack, just don't forget that you have to somehow apply something for the bleed to continue. And every 3 seconds it will fall off, and 3 seconds is very fast in this game. And that is really about it. I mean, you know, I hope that in time to come she would become more you know, exciting to play as well, because I think for bleed build, just that very, you know, I do find that it's a little bit clunky to keep up with the bleed. I try to use Slash and Hack as the main spender. The result isn't that good, because, you know, I still need to, you know, weave it in with the claw. So I think as a variety, if you really want to do something different with X-23, is that I would challenge you to use this Slash Hack as a main spender. I actually did try that. It's a little bit more management. And also, you know, you can use this one as a filler to sort of like just keep up with the 3 second of 3 stack of kind of thing, you know, 3 stack of Grievous Wounds. And it may work too, but from my timing, it's a little bit kind of inconsistent. Sometimes I can get it right, sometimes I don't. So I would not recommend, unless you really want to do something different with X-23. So I would say from a design perspective, I'm hoping that the whole entire bleed build will get, you know, it's a lot. I hope that it's easier for, you know, to apply bleed. I hope that the bleed will actually last a little bit longer without having to manage so hard. I also hope that there are some power that we dump out the entire. I mean, if some of the power like Slash and Hacks is like the Impel in Wolverine, that is really good as well, because I can dump out, like, you know, hundreds of my Wrath just to one big kind of like output. I don't need to worry too much about the Slash and Hatch anyway. And yeah, definitely her survivability need a lot of work to make her really fun to play. So, but that is just from my point of view. And thank you for watching, and watch out for the movement video as well. Have a great day. Bye.